your imagination. Our theories take us down endless rabbit holes. We give our fellow nerds something to consider at the gaming table. Follow us as the Nerd Powwow.
Welcome to the Nerd Powwow. Follow us on YouTube where we upload new videos every Friday, or check us out on your favorite podcast platform. Spoiler warning, we do deep dives on characters, storylines, and theory crafting. With that said, Mariah Bain, what are we talking about today?
Well, with his new movie coming out and doing so well, I want to talk about the Man of Steel himself. Mr. Clark Kent, Superman, Kal-El. That's right. Guy's been around for a long time. 1938. He's been around for a long time. Had a lot of different... Yeah, just a few, you know. He's almost as old as I am. But no, he's a great character. Yeah, he ranges a lot. You know, he's got I think one thing they did with Superman that the reason I like him more than I do a lot of overpowered heroes, which frankly Superman really is an overpowered hero, but they made him fallible.
Yeah,
they gave him weaknesses. They made him very human in a lot of ways, even though he was one of the superheroes that is actually completely not human. But that's what kept him relevant, stopped him from being too much like a lot of the other characters that I know you'll hate me for saying it, but stopped him from being One Punch Man. I'm just teasing, but no, just that's what I liked about him. The idea that you could have this greatly overpowered person, and they even do it well in the storylines. Like a lot of heavier storylines, that's the primary antagonist's first and only goal is to get rid of the fucking Kryptonian. Whatever you do, make sure the Kryptonian isn't available for the fight because they don't want him to be a factor. But that makes him a target too, which is almost a vulnerability in and of itself. So it makes him hard to do things people don't think about. We think about his power weaknesses, but it makes him vulnerable to social things. He can't have a robust social life or a public one that isn't superhuman, at least, because it's a vulnerability he's giving himself. So it's just really, look what happened when, I don't know if you guys were through the entire Injustice thing, but when in that whole line, when the Joker takes out Lois, we find out really quick just how vulnerable Superman can be and what happens when you've made the baddest man on the planet unstable.
Yeah.
Bad news, bad things. But
sure. Hey, 100 different versions of Superman out there, right? Too. Like he's been written forever, so there's so many different versions, so many different little chinks in the armor that he has, and all those things for sure.
Even his power set has changed greatly. He was around for almost 5 years before he could fly. He could only jump, which they kind of touched on in the Smallville series. You know, the Smallville was that people were kind of like, oh, why don't they make him fly? Well, because they were kind of sticking true to content. Superman for the first 5 years didn't fly. And matter of fact, Kryptonite didn't even exist until he had flight. He was around 5 years before there was a Kryptonite. I think his jump was he had a pretty good jump, really Hulk-like jump, but it wasn't even that extreme. He couldn't leap like 10 miles. It was less than a mile he could leap. It was kind of cool.
Well, now you say that the One Punch Man has no weaknesses, but while Superman's getting there in 2 seconds from flying, Saitama has to ride a damn bicycle, and it takes him an hour to get to any emergency. So he's always the last one.
I knew I'd fire him up.
I had to. But, talking about Superman kind of clone characters or very similar characters, throughout the years, I think more recently we've gotten a lot of very cynical versions of Superman, very like the Injustice Superman, just awful. Mm-hmm. We have Homelander, we have Omni-Man, some of these characters that have like the Superman kind of ability set and almost kind of iconography in a way, just because of the symbol they represent. But they're writing these characters, they're subverting this original Superman myth and making them, kind of dicks, right?
big. They're all like what ifs. You know, what if Superman was a dick? I mean, it's really what it boils down to.
Sure,
Different
yeah.
backstory, but
That's Homelander right there.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about these dark Superman. I mean, you have the Zack Snyder Superman. I mean, you have some dark Superman recently.
What was the one with the killer Superman kid? It wasn't officially Superman, but
not Insidious.
No, I can't think of the name of it. But it was like a horror movie where they had the family adopted him, and he was a killer kid. Brightburn. Brightburn. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it is.
That was a good.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's Brightburn. I mean, 100%. What if Superman as a child was batshit crazy?
Exactly. So, I mean, we've had all those. Kind of segueing a little bit into the Superman movie. It was refreshing to see Superman actually be Superman.
Yep.
We haven't seen that in a long time.
Never seen Superman bleed so much as in that movie.
That's fair.
Because the Christopher Reeve movies never bled ever.
Yeah, well, in the second one when he gave up the powers.
Well, yeah, when he got beat up by that bar fight, yeah.
Bar fight, yeah. But yeah, you never seen him as Superman bleed at all. Nobody could contend with him. It was a kryptonite only.
Yeah.
And what they tried to it's
that movie. Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult played a great Lex Luthor. I liked him.
I'm a big fan of Nicholas Hoult. I feel like he should have more Hollywood clout than he does. Everything he touches, I enjoyed. I mean, I think he was the main character in Warm Bodies, which is one of my favorite zombie movies. He's just been, and he also played Beast, didn't he?
He did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yep.
Did a great job as Beast.
Yep. And
there's a movie.
He's dynamic. You wouldn't really recognize the two people as the same person.
There was a movie that came out this year or last year. It's called Juror Number 2. And he was amazing in that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but he plays very great in that movie.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean he played his every time he seems to get a role, he's very chameleon like it's not so it's recognizable as him, like, but I always find myself going, holy crap, that's Nicholas Hoult. Not, oh, that's Nicholas Hoult acting in that. I realize it after I've watched the character for a moment. It suddenly occurs to me like, holy shit, that's Nicholas Hoult. But yeah,
we talked in a past episode about maybe Tom Holland as example is when he played in Uncharted. That was Spider-Man. Nicholas Hoult, I don't see him as Beast unless I'm watching X-Men.
Right.
I don't see him as Lex Luthor unless I'm watching Superman. He does an amazing job. Yeah,
it's what do they call those the Heath Ledger type actors where they
method actors?
Like I don't know that he is, but he has his end result is very method actor-esque. Like it's almost like he's leaning into that persona. He isn't acting; he's assuming that persona, which there's a huge difference in acting when that happens. It's pretty great.
You can see that kind of transform on the screen for sure. And, I think Lex Luthor was while a little comedic at times in the way he acted, like it all fits. It all makes sense for the character. And, ultimately Lex Luthor, his stories typically revolve around, I'm the biggest, the best example of what a human being can possibly be. But Superman's better than him. But Superman, he's just like, hey, I'm just a human. So it undercuts everything behind Lex Luthor and his ego that Superman, who's in his eyes perceives him as greater than him in power. It's turns out he's very humble and it drives him mad.
It is. Like I've never seen a representation of Lex that was really like the Lex in comics. The closest I've done is actually Smallville Lex. What's his name? What's his name? The actor. Is it Goldblum? Is that his name? That's I can't think of his last name.
I'm not
from
sure.
Smallville. Did you guys watch Smallville?
Bits and pieces.
That's about the same. Bits and pieces when it first came out.
Michael Rosenbaum is his name.
Rosenbaum, yep.
He was probably the closest because he's not really a bad guy. I mean, he does some bad shit, but like Lex Luthor's character is almost a personification of a person who just thinks he knows best.
He does.
He believes that he knows what's better for everyone, and he's that arrogance comes with a self-empowerment to then enforce what he thinks is best.
Yeah.
Sometimes he really feels like, a lot of times he's put himself on the side of good against greater fights. You know what I mean? Like, but did he do it because it was the right thing, or did he do it because he needed to protect his petri dish of a planet because he feels like everyone here is his to experiment and do whatever the hell he wants with?
I'm pretty sure he made a cancer gun and gave Lois Lane cancer once. So, like, yeah, sometimes he joins the heroes, but
yeah, like he it's always an ends to a mean. It isn't like inherently evil. It's almost like the epitome of narcissism.
Yeah,
which is, I guess, could be defined as evil because narcissism is pretty gross, but it's a different kind of evil. It isn't a wanton destruction. It isn't a wanton desire to do harm. It's just that harm is a mechanism, and he has no problem in doing whatever to get to his goal.
Yeah.
So it just is a very interesting, very dynamic character. And as much as I enjoy like Nicholas Hoult as him, it is not the comic. I really liked it. That's a great interpretation of it. I like this, the idea of him being unable to deal with defeat. Yeah. Like he almost had a tantrum.
He did have a tantrum.
Oh yeah, right. He surely did. And you can see the control in Superman too. Like Superman doesn't have those tantrums in this movie, especially. He when he flips the desk, that's so controlled. He could have taken that desk and thrown it across Metropolis, right? Yeah. He's showing restraint at all times. Even when he's angry, he's showing his anger, but he's not harming anyone. No. And I like seeing Superman written that way.
Where's the dog?
Yeah,
he's just. I like the part in him. Like there's this part of him that is like innocent in a way. He literally says like he's just a dog. You know what I mean? Like there's part of him that can't even imagine someone.
Yeah, a naivety in a way.
He's just a dog, man. You know, I really like that they make him just like relatable in that way, like and truly good. Like it's Superman always has to be truly good because if he's not, we're all in deep shit.
You know, the scene where he saved the squirrel, they almost took that out of the movie. I'm so glad they left it in.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they left it in. That's the Superman I wanted. And you know, I think it's good to have just a positive story out there, you know?
I like when he had the baby and he's just getting attacked, but he's holding the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is just fantastic. They did a really good job. I'm glad that the Murderverse is behind us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so done with that. It just, and you know what else it was? Is it wasn't a clone of Let's Try to Do What Marvel did. It was its own creature. Like that was a little afraid the Gunn would just take his Marvel knowledge and then try to apply it to DC, and he didn't do that. This was not Guardians of the Galaxy. Sure this was in no way, shape, or form Guardians of the Galaxy.
True.
So that was refreshing in of itself. He really gave it the right start.
Yeah,
that is a good thing. It was a different kind of Superman movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
Superman was very vulnerable. Yeah, absolutely too. I like that they used the nanotechnology to get into his lungs. Like that was perfect. I thought it was cool.
I like the idea of that, but Superman travels in outer space.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I saw that happen. He doesn't breathe. He doesn't need to breathe.
Even in the end scene, he's sitting on the moon with Crypto.
All right. Like I did think that same thing.
It's a little.
All right, fair enough. That's fair.
A little rough, but I like the idea of trying to create a. That was probably my one gripe, and I like the idea of attacking him from the inside. I like the idea of that power, you know, but then take away the no breath thing. You know what I mean? Make it make it a thing and keep it.
Consistency is important.
Yeah, but because there's a lot to be said too. Like maybe I don't know for sure. I'd have to look this up. It's possible that Superman can just hold his breath indefinitely. He might be able to hold his breath for extreme amounts of time. And if that's the case, then a nanotechnology would absolutely work because he's holding air so that he oxygenates. So if he still needs to oxygenate and she's filling up his lungs and there's no room for oxygen, it would absolutely potentially kill him. So maybe if you're listening out there, Mr. Gunn, just pick that shit up, make it a holding the breath, you'll be all right.
Did you guys ever see The Adventures of Lois and Clark with Dean Cain?
Yes.
I love that series. I really did.
Lex
Luthor was played by John Shea, and the thing about Lex is he was a pretty boy who had hair.
Yeah,
but it still worked. I liked him as a Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
I really like that series.
Had a Lex Luthor with hair too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the actor's name, but
the original Superman had a Lex Luthor with hair.
Yeah.
But then, Gene Hackman just wore a wig.
Yeah, he had the thing. But
I guess technically, yeah.
I could be wrong with this being comic true or not, but it seems to me that Superman was responsible for Lex losing his hair.
Yeah. I think they tell the story that way a couple times. I think in different storylines.
Yeah.
Well, that's for him making the cancer gun.
Fair. On the flip side of that, I know there's a plot line that they touch every now and again where Superman is desperately trying to find the cure for cancer with all of his resources in the Arctic. Because in addition to protecting humanity physically, he also wants to use all of that alien technology to protect them medically as well. That's always a cool little thing that they'll just like kind of have a throw, like in some of the cartoons and stuff, they'll have like a throwaway line where he's like, didn't do it this time either.
Didn't do it this time.
And it's like attempt 4,000 or something.
So apparently in DC or Adventure Comics 271 in 1960, Superboy inadvertently caused Lex to lose his hair. He used his super breath to blow out a fire in a lab, and the chemical spilled all over Lex. That's what I remembered, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure it was right, but that was just so long ago.
No wonder he's mad at Superman.
And that, another thing that I'm glad that James Gunn did, and I'm hoping that he keeps with it, is he didn't play with. Every so often, a writer would just give Superman some bizarre ass power, like a power that was completely like. They've given him telescopic vision, telepathic mind control. He erased Lois Lane's memories with a kiss in the Superman movie with what's his name? Christopher Reeve. I mean, it just he had they had the point your finger and lift somebody up like telepathically powered in Superman 2. I mean. There was even he had like super ventriloquism. He could like shoot his voiceover into things, make him sound like he's coming over there. I'm so glad that they got rid of all that shit. It was just like, hey, you know what else would be cool? I'm like, save it for another hero. Taking off the symbol off of his chest and using it as a weapon or an enlarging net. What the hell is that? Like what? I don't know. At least when it was Electric Superman in the 90s for a short time, there was a reason behind it. But yeah, it killed me. Did you guys watch the Adventures of Superman and Lois though? The one on CW?
Is that the one? He's got the kids.
Yeah,
he's got 2 kids that get powers.
Yeah,
I watched into the second season, but I never finished it.
I greatly enjoyed that one. The first couple seasons I actually found weaker than it got. I think it really found its footing. And it added some things that actually came from comics, like Supergirl created something called Kryptonite. And she was doing it for doing it to cure something. She was doing it. I think she was trying to cure something. I forget what it was. I forget her reason behind it. But it inadvertently Kryptonite gave humans superpowers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like opposite Kryptonite, and they put that in the show. They put that in the Adventures of Superman and Lois. That was a thing in there. The military was actually using it, making like superpowered people that were on their like playlist. And I thought Tyler Hoechlin, however you pronounce it, from Teen Wolf, I thought he made a fantastic Superman. I thought he was great. He's kind of trolled by. I think he's trolled by CW haters.
Yeah.
More than like, I think people just didn't give him much of a chance, but I really liked him as that. He's a great Superman. Just like Melissa Benoit, I think she was just a
good choice for
Supergirl. Although I kind of like, I forget her name, but the new Supergirl. I like this
Molly Alcock or Millie.
Millie, yeah. I like this like young bratty for the kind of responsible for, like, you know, she's going to red sun planets to catch a buzz. I mean, I like the idea of like to have this like we'll get to see this viewpoint of someone like struggling with with that kind of superpowers, not really wanting them, not really wanting the responsibility.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be good too. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's kind of hard to do Superman right, as has been shown by so many times he's been done wrong. And I really feel like James Gunn did an excellent job. I question some of his decisions, just personally, my own tastes, and I'm finding him frequently proving me wrong, which I'm very happy about. I love to be proved wrong when it's to my benefit. I'm like, I'm wrong.
I like this version of Superman. Like, sure, he has like his moral objections, but like he just kind of lets people do their thing too. Like at the end, getting everybody in the right positions to do what they, were best suited for. Like sending Guy Gardner out to, I forget what they named the place, but out there, he's the perfect guy to deal with that situation. That situation didn't need Superman, right? So it makes sense, I just wish they would have shown a scene.
War.
What's that?
Yeah. When they were dealing with that battle.
Yeah. I kind of wish we got a scene where Superman was the leader, right, of this little group, where, just a quick throwaway scene where he's like, okay, Guy over here, you over here. Now, I would have liked to see that, but I really don't know what happened that got everybody in position. Maybe something like that happened off screen, but it was either a lot of happenstances or Superman just knew that was going to be taken care of, so he didn't worry about it.
I think it was at some point in time. I don't know that he was asserting himself as leader.
Yeah.
But I think honestly some of that's attributed to Lois. Because the way she went there and like guilt tripped them into it. So now there's some things that needed done, and they had a meeting somewhere that was off camera, like, hey, this is the shit that needs done. Who's going to do what?
Yeah.
Guy Gardner would probably take credit for it. He's such an amazing ass. But they did that so well.
Oh,
they did that so well.
It was so good to see Captain Hammer again.
Oh, yeah, right. and defeating people with like giant green middle fingers.
Oh, so good.
It's so they really captured the essence of Guy Gardner, because Guy Gardner's like, everybody hates that guy in the comics, like his other heroes.
He's like that. He's the last person that you call for a job, unless the job's kind of seedy.
Right. Because he was the backup. He was originally going to get the powers before they gave him to Hal.
Yep.
Yes. So.
Between the two of them, it could have been either one. It just landed closer to Hal, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, they were desperate. They didn't want to come here anyway.
Well, you just have to be brave, right, to be in the Lantern Corps. That's the thing.
It's basically just, it's almost like it's kind of like Daredevil-esque, like no fear, kind of thing. So you're willing to, but yeah, he just but I really liked the Hawk Girl. That she was way more like, because Hawk Girl comes from a war planet.
Yeah,
a planet of warriors. I mean, it's brutal there. So I love when she's flying up there. She's like, I'm not Superman. And she just drops him. Like, that's beautiful. That's so Hawk Girl. Even throwing in the little Hawk Girl scream, her little battle cry thing. That's like I found it is bird like. That was good.
Oh,
reminded me a lot of like Banshee.
Yeah,
true. What a comeuppance for who I'll affectionately call Darwin, aka Mr. Terrific. Man.
Yeah.
They didn't use him right in Marvel. Marvel didn't use him well. I thought he did an amazing job. Yeah.
Adapt to anything.
He did.
Yep. I wish they would have used him more in the movies. I thought he's a great actor. He did so good in Superman.
Yep. Yeah. I've liked him in a lot of different things. He's been in a lot of different shows. I think they did a great job. I think the guy that played Mr. Terrific in the Arrowverse, I thought he did a really good job too. But this guy was top notch. I was quite happy with him.
Yeah.
I think he was in something else that I really enjoyed, and I'm trying to remember what the hell that was. I'm cheating and looking it up real quick because it's killing me that I can't remember it. Throwing in Alec Tudyk as Gary also was phenomenal.
4.
What's that? 4. Yeah, 4.
4.
Yeah, that's something that messed me up too. I thought for sure, when Jor-El and Lara were up there and it was Bradley Cooper, I thought that was Lady Gaga with him. It is not. It's some other actress. Her face is structured remarkably like Lady Gaga. I can't believe that it wouldn't be intentional to have called or to made that was intentional, but it was
coincidence.
It was just coincidence, I guess. I don't know. I wonder if it was coincidence or they just couldn't get Lady Gaga to do it, because that was remarkable.
Hoorah.
I wish Lady Gaga.
What's that?
I wish Lady Gaga.
Yeah, right.
Or Timu Lady Gaga.
But yeah, she did. It's kind of funny. And I don't mind that twist. I don't mind the twist about Kryptonians not necessarily being great guys, or great people. Like he was supposed to come here and kind of take them over rather than, help them.
Yeah,
that added. I liked what that did to Superman. I liked his whole life was turned upside down. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about it. Even the dog. I mean, as CGI as it was,
yeah,
I loved the dog.
Yeah, loved the dog.
That was great. Yeah, he was so good.
What a good way to make Lex Luthor a known bad guy, but to have him steal the dog.
Right.
Like,
they're like,
initially she shot the nano on his face. I'm like, don't know. You do not kill the dog in this movie. Yep. I will stop watching right now.
Yep, exactly.
I was like, no, they won't do that. They can't do that.
Oh, taking out Crypto would have been a real problem.
Movie suicide.
Yeah.
I remember where I knew that guy from. He was on House for a run. The guy who played Mr. Terrific played a doctor on House for like a story arc. Yeah. But I couldn't remember where I found him, and I liked him so much, but that was where I originally found him.
I also like they gave William Reeve a short cameo, Christopher Reeve's son.
Yeah.
He was just a TV reporter on the TV, so it was real quick. But
Yeah,
I like the fact they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the movie was, I think it was everything it should have been.
Yeah.
What did they keep calling themselves? The what league?
The gang. Justice Gang.
Justice Gang. Such a good.
Justice Gang.
That was such a name that was absolutely Guy Gardner came up with. The Justice Gang. He'd be like, it's so cool.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the
the guy at the end there is like, that's so cool. He's like, I like you.
Yeah.
Then they had the Super Friends building.
Yes.
Kind of awesome. The Hall of Justice was in there. That was
Gotta love
really
the
neat.
Super Friends.
What's that?
Gotta love the Super Friends. No,
Oh, I
no matter.
love Super Friends.
Yeah.
That was such a great comic or cartoon. I watched that for a long time.
I rewatched all of the first 4 Superman with Christopher Reeve. I just wanted for this, I just wanted to watch it all over again, and I guess it'd been some time because there was definitely parts that I forgot about.
I don't think you could pay me to watch the third or fourth one again. The first few were fantastic. The second, those other ones, oof. Oof.
I guess Christopher Reeve was not going to do the 4th one, and somehow they convinced him to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I ever saw the first Superman all the way through before. Until
just bits and pieces when it came on TV.
Yep, until just recently. So it was good to be able to see it as a full work start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're bad.
I think the first one's definitely the best, but that's usually in any series.
I think
the first one's always the best.
Yeah.
I think the second one's the best. I think Zod and Crew. I think the vulnerability of Superman. That's my favorite. I really enjoyed that one.
I guess I like Superman, how he starts being Superman and being Clark Kent, and he's figuring it all out. He's figuring how to be Superman. I just like all that. He's trying to keep it secret.
Yeah. Just my preference. I just really, I just know in the super, like they're saying right now, it's what DC is doing. Is out of the origin story.
Yeah.
It's been done so many times.
Because even at that point, I'm like, even as old as that is, like I know that story. You know what I mean? I know that story so well.
Yep.
And it's like,
because there's so many times you can tell it, and they're all different in their own little ways, but it's still the same story.
It is, and I'm so glad that they're just done with the origin
Let's just
story.
continue on.
Yeah.
Like,
everybody knows Superman's origin by now.
Right. And if you don't, look it up.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's something that's actually kind of crazy. Did you know in 2034 Superman becomes public domain?
Oh wow.
2037 Batman does. So that means anyone in the world can make a Superman or Batman movie of whatever type they want, and they don't need DC's permission to do it.
That's a big one coming around. It'll be like the Winnie the Pooh movies.
Yeah, it's like
I was thinking that same thing. They're going to make a Blood and Honey Superman.
There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but that's coming quick. I actually really suspect that DC will do something significant with these characters. If it were me and I was DC, I'd retire them. Like, people can do whatever they want with them. Now, you know what I mean? I would retire them in the comics permanently. They've gone 100 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 100 years. So it's time.
So that's so weird to think 100 years of comics.
Yep. So just retire them, let people go tell their other universe stories and everything else. So the characters will live on forever. They're not going anywhere.
True.
But now now's the time to introduce their successors.
Yeah, get something else going.
Yeah, get something else. Who's the new? Introduce something that's that great. Because, frankly, what's the last superhero that has attained the notoriety of one of these kind of characters? Deadpool, maybe. Deadpool's probably the most recent one that has attained the notoriety level of a Batman, Superman, something of that. And
Deadpool
even him. What's that?
In the 90s, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not the 30s or 60s.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I mean, but even that's a good point too, because in the last 25 years, in this century, what hero has come about that has been the hero? Has been the new anything? I can't think of one. It's all been rehashed characters, re-envisioned. Somebody else in the same costume. I can't think of a character that was created that's attained any kind of notoriety of clout. You know what I mean? Like, has real clout lasting staying power.
They've tried with making new characters, but no, none of them have stuck like Superman and Batman.
It's because they're kind of vapid and two-dimensional. They make them. They come up with some cool power sets.
Yeah.
But the character story is like, even try someone like Hope Summers. Hope Summers is a linchpin in a lot of X-Men stories. I mean, it's incredible, the whole Phoenix Force and all that other good stuff. But most people don't even know who the hell Hope Summers is. If you're not an avid comic collector, you don't even know who she is, and she's very important to the comics.
Yeah.
So
I think they got away with a lot more experimentation back then. So they were able to make a bunch of mistakes, and then they picked up all the greats, and those ones came along. And I think what we might be seeing a little bit of is, well, all these new heroes kind of suck, but in a couple of years, maybe some of them kind of sloth off, and we find the good ones through that. But
I hope so, but
everybody is afraid to experiment, right? So between Marvel and DC, it doesn't feel like you're going to get any new heroes if you're keeping your media to that lens. Because
you're right.
I like that. I like your way of thinking about that, because we even can go back to video games with Nintendo having Mario, Sega having Sonic. What are the video game systems like PlayStation or even Xbox don't have that character?
Yeah,
to kind of take off with.
Not in a long time.
No,
not the flagship type character. They're using the same ones. It's still Link. It's still Metroid. It's still Mario. It's still all of these. I think what the most recent one Sony had that you could having any kind of real weight is probably what's his face from God of War. Kronos.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Kratos.
Yeah. Kratos.
Yeah.
Kratos. Yeah.
He's got a pretty good franchise, but even him, if you put a picture of Kratos up, 99% people are like, that's from that one game.
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah.
Yeah, Zelda or Link, or any of those people be like, oh, it's this one, it's that one. You know what I mean? Everybody knows it. Moms know it because their kids play the games.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Just.
I think maybe part of it is we're just exposed to so much more media now than we were back in the past. Like, Superman and Batman are out. You have 3 TV shows, it's 3 channels you can watch or whatever, right? Like Batman's on the TV, back in the day, right? So there's a degree of that, and they, quality control. Hey, we want to talk about only the best heroes, if that's all we have time slots for. But we're pumping out a lot of stories, a lot of environments, a lot of money's going out, and to make these stories. But I think there's just so much of a risk to releasing a flop that they just want to put out their AAA characters.
Well, I think it's even greater. I think you're hitting on something important. Media thing, because now with social media, now it honestly, for the last 20 years, the cool thing to be the cool nerd on social media is the guy that tears things apart.
True.
The guy's like, this is why it's inferior, and this is why it's that, and they all of this like dick measuring from guys that don't get outside in the sun ever. It's like, guys, I'm like you're not winning yourself any clout. You just sound like a pompous ass. You know what I mean? It's okay to like something new. It's okay to be the one who's not afraid to say that was kind of cool. Now it's just not cool to do that, and I think that's kind of gross. I think that people really get their rocks off on the negativity, and it's like, ugh, I want to be the guy who knows something better.
I've noticed Disney Plus seems to be, with at least Marvel, just throwing darts at a dartboard and seeing what sticks. Because She-Hulk was, I didn't really care for Iron Fist either, but Daredevil, even Jessica Jones, stuff like that, Punisher, I really like those shows.
Yeah, I did not like Iron Fist, especially because Iron Fist is one of my top 5 favorite characters from Marvel. And that was
screwed him up.
Oh my god, this scrawny little kid that wouldn't know how to fist fight himself out of a paper bag. But it was bad. The guy was emotionless. He had no acting. I hated him. But I actually liked She-Hulk. I actually enjoyed She-Hulk because I felt like it brought something completely different.
It was different. And,
Yeah, but
personally,
they-
I liked She-Hulk too, but it flopped.
it did. Oh, it definitely
Yeah.
flopped. I think that almost kind of sometimes I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. For being as almost oppressed of a culture, and I shouldn't say that because that's too strong of a word because of people of cultures that are actually oppressed. A bullied culture like nerddom. Nerddom has historically been a bullied pastime, right? To be that kind of people, it is now so rampantly full of chauvinism and just short-sighted, small mentality. And I'm like, this is supposed to be the creative space, the place for the mind to wonder that what's going on and what it would be like, and wouldn't it be cool if this was true? This was supposed to be like the ultimate freedom space. And here you got all these people trying to shrink it down because they're so afraid that Silver Surfer's a woman now or whatever. They're focusing on this bullshit. And it's so small. Like I'm so tired of the term or the people saying that Disney jumped too much into the woke agenda or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. So they're trying to broaden their horizons. They're trying to like expand their fan base. They're trying to like appeal to everybody, everyone, that's not bad. How is that bad? So you didn't like one of the series because it didn't apply to you. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. You know what I mean?
I think you had that with a little bit with Ironheart. The problem though, I think sometimes they write the characters unrealistic because you have a lot of the same people still writing these characters without kind of that different experience, right? That life experience that would have written maybe a more appropriate character for the situation. But
I agree.
Yeah. Overall,
I would have thought Chinaka Hodge. I thought she would have been a great person to write Ironheart. You know what I mean? Because I really thought she was going to do a better job. No, I think that the series picked up to the second half.
Yeah.
The second half. I mean, not just because of Mephisto. I mean, obviously we got Mephisto, and we're all like, oh. But I mean, I think the second half the problem I had with that is they rely too much sometimes on tropes. And I mean, if you have someone who has that level of intellect, Tony Stark, greater than maybe even Tony Stark level intellect.
Yeah.
Create a better toilet and earn $1 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Create anything and earn $1 million. I mean, this idea that she's resorting to these menial tasks and criminal type activities and shit like that for money, that's fucking insulting. It's insulting to the character. It's insulting to everything. I don't care who wrote it. It's insulting. And get out of here. But you flip that into someone like Power Man, Luke Cage. Luke Cage that was the right kind of story for that character, the street level character. You know what I mean? He's got invulnerable skin. That's all he's got going. I mean, in strength. You know what I mean? But he's raised there. He's part of that. That was really well done. And I felt like I was looking into the world through a different lens, a lens that I've never seen through. And I felt like I was really getting a good glimpse of this. Oh, that's what it would maybe be like. And it felt real, and it felt, it just felt real. It felt like I could see where people could become that. I just didn't see that. It didn't make sense to me in Ironheart. Didn't make sense to me at all. I mean, she used to be in Wakanda. First of all, why would you leave Wakanda?
Fair.
In Wakanda's, you got these kind of problems she's having. You couldn't be like 1-800, Siri or whatever the hell her name is. Be like, hey, I got this problem. You think you can send me over a few $100,000?
Yep.
Take that off the top for Wakanda. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, but you have to intern here for a month. Okay, deal made. Yeah. These are just simple solutions. You know what I mean? In this same intellect. I mean, even the Mephisto thing, they could have done that better, because she's so intelligent. You could have had her thinking that maybe she's intelligent enough to outwit this immortal head demon,
Yeah.
this lord of the underworld, where she's arrogant enough to feel like she could outsmart him in a way. I'd rather have seen that show, but that's the difference. And same thing with the Superman movies. It's you get the ones, as much as I liked Henry Cavill as Superman, the murder Superman, focusing on all of the destruction and all this other crap. Heavily armored Superman. Why? And, like, your skin your body is always going to be superior to the armor you're wearing.
Yeah.
It just that's the same kind of thing. People, what's that?
It looks good.
I guess. I don't know.
There's the reason.
So you mentioned Luke Cage. I really like Mike Coulter as an actor. Jessica Jones, he knocked it out of the park, but the actual series of Luke Cage, I did not like. I couldn't get through it.
No?
And maybe it's just the writing, or maybe it was the story that was trying to be told. I only watched a few episodes because, like I said, I really like Mike Coulter as Luke Cage as the actor. But yeah, that's not one of those Disney shows that I didn't really care.
That was one of the Netflix ones, but yeah, that was actually
right, yeah.
Before Disney. Yeah. But yeah, I really liked the Power Man ones, but like I said, or Luke Cage, I'm forever going to be calling him Power Man because that was his superhero name. But but they were. I mean, it was a different tone. I could see the tone. But that's my point, though. It's perfectly okay if you just didn't vibe with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing that you see one superhero show you like and you don't like the next one because somebody else is the opposite. And let's embrace that instead of vilifying it like every one of them has to fit to your particular dynamic or whatever.
The show I really, really liked was Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was sweet.
Oh, I loved it. He was magnificent with all those personalities.
And that was another one that was like universally panned. Like, and I think it's because you actually had to pay attention.
You did, yes. You couldn't have people talking in the background. You had to focus right on what was going on.
It was a thinking person's show.
It was,
and I think that a lot of the fan base of this stuff doesn't want that. They want let's be real. I mean, as much as I enjoyed all of the original movies, MCU movies, and coming up to, the Avengers Endgame stuff, that very simple themes, very simple motivations. I mean, very clear. He didn't get deep. Nobody had mental health issues. And you know what I mean? You got a small glimpse of Captain America being a little bummed that everybody he knew was dead. You know what I mean? It's like he was bummed about it for a little while, and I'm like, nothing major. Everything was like really up above, on the surface. But Moon Knight dove us below the surface. I mean, this guy's his power set is different when he's different personalities. He doesn't remember it. He was doing Fight Club shit with that girl. One time he's like, she's loving him. The next time he's not Brad Pitt. It's like,
yeah.
Like, I thought it was great, but people don't want that. People sometimes want that.
Yeah. I love the scene where he wakes up and he's like in the front of a moving truck and like has a gun in his hand. He's like, oh. every time I pick up a game that I haven't played in a long time, that's always the feeling. Like, what's going on around here?
What's going on?
Oh man.
So
what a good show.
So what other Superman? I guess Superman questions, Superman comments. What do we have?
Yeah, so
there's something else I think is kind of interesting about Superman. How much do you guys know about the Kryptonites? There's a lot. Like there used to only be a handful.
Yeah,
Kryptonite.
I know there's a lot. There's one for every.
There's a Kryptonite
flavor,
for everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but the original Kryptonites were cool. You had the white like for instance, white Kryptonite. White Kryptonite didn't do anything to Kryptonians, but it destroyed vegetation. You could take it over like a forest, and it would just destroy all of that vegetation. What's interesting because it's like is every element on that planet exposed to yellow suddenly, like the organic creatures become superpowered, but every element from there is suddenly turns into an asshole because of the yellow sun. It makes no sense.
And that's always so interesting how those Kryptonites got here, because they just put him in a escape pod and he came to Earth. But all these pieces of the planet keep coming to Earth.
It suggests that Krypton was like around the corner, like he was about 6 miles down the cosmos.
That's how it seems. Like,
yeah,
all the debris just keeps falling onto Earth, and people keep finding it. Ooh, this can affect Superman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's glowing. It must affect Superman.
Now, to be fair, we have Lex Luthor, the richest man, grabbing this or stealing this kryptonite. It sucks to have a rich nemesis. It has to.
Yeah. So why can't we have a poor guy that can't build all these machines or get any help?
Well, then we'd end up with Iron Man 2.
Oh yeah.
Had the whip guy.
Whiplash.
Yep.
Whip guy, yeah.
Boy, that was the way to. Whiplash is the most like B-list villain in the comics. I mean, I think Scourge of the Underworld killed him or something. I don't know, the guys. He's just a B-level character, and they really hyped him up in there.
They sure did.
But yeah,
I think in some stories they write Superman very Superman-y or very Clark Kent, to where you can tell which character is kind of like. I guess the original Superman movies, whenever it was Clark Kent, it felt like it was Superman's alter ego, not the other way around. Superman felt more real as to who he was as an individual in the original movies, I think.
Because I think, Superman was the real Kal-El.
Yeah, yeah. And I think
Clark Kent was just something he made to try to hide himself.
Yeah, for this most recent movie, he feels a lot more like Clark Kent. He feels like an introverted person pretending to be extroverted when he's Superman, and I feel it's vice versa for the original Superman movie.
I think you're right. I think that's a great observation, and I think that's what made me like the movie so much, because he wasn't born Superman.
No,
he didn't grow up Superman. He grew up Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Superman is his alter ego. Clark Kent is who he is. So, I mean, that interview with Lois, and let me say, I didn't say that yet. I freaking think that woman killed it as Lois Lane.
She did.
That feisty, even the little things like not sure she wants to be in a relationship, that fits so well to who I think Lois Lane is. Just perfect. But
she's a challenging person.
Yeah, and even for herself. She's like her own worst enemy, I think, sometimes, and I like that. I don't know. I really like the casting and the way they portrayed the actor, the character. But my point is, when they're doing the interview back and forth, and he's letting her interview him as Superman, like you can see the actual blend of Superman and Clark at that time. You can see that they're one person. And whereas previously it's always been Clark is here, Superman's here. You can really see that they're the same guy.
Yeah.
Here, he's able to be himself, which is, I guess that's the point, is when he's able to be himself with Lois, he's actually neither. He's just him.
Yeah.
It's an unnamed, blending person. All of his guards are down, all of his walls are down. That's why he gets so upset when she challenges him in uncomfortable ways, because he's vulnerable. His heart's vulnerable to her. So when she kind of goes on the offensive and attacks, he doesn't have any of his walls up, and it greatly process it. What a great thing to have in a Superman movie.
Yeah, that was a wonderful scene.
Wonderful scene. It's just such a good dynamic, and I well written. I mean, for James, I mean, that was just good stuff. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we've come to the end of the Superman chat.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's close it out with guys. Wayne, Darkwayne, what would you give Superman 1 out of 10? The new movie.
It was up there. It was 9. I don't want to give it a 10 because that's perfect, but it was up there, so I would say 9.
Okay. What about you, Mariah Bain?
Let's think. I think the number 8 pops in my head.
Yeah.
Because I think there was room for improvement, but in 8 out of 10 is a fucking stellar movie.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
it's a stellar movie. I loved it. So I mean, I can count on one hand and not use all my fingers a movie that I think was any 10. You know,
Yeah.
and they're legendary movies. You know what I mean? Legendary movies. So
Yep.
I can't give Superman a 10, a 9 or 10 when I'm coming up against, you know, the original Star Wars.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Sure.
so is that a 12? Does the dial go to 11?
Yeah.
You know? It's just
10 plus.
so, yeah, so I gotta think of the whole scope of the,
Yeah.
you know, nerddom movies, and so I think a solid 8, which is a hell of a compliment for the movie, because it's never gonna be
Sure.
a legendary movie, but it's always gonna be a really good movie.
I think I sit right between you guys. If this movie was released at a different point in time, I'd probably give it an 8. But I think just with the way media, culture, and everything is, I think it's the perfect time to release an optimistic movie with an optimistic superhero and really show goodness in work. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And so, yeah, I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10 because I think it also like embolden like journalists too. Because, you know, you have some of these characters that are very, you know, motivating in a way, and it's not just Superman, it's everybody. So it shows everybody's got a place, you know? So, awesome stuff. Nerds, tell us what you think in the comments. What would you give this movie out of 10?
Let us know.
All
Yes, so.
We'll catch y'all
See you guys.
later.
Yep.
Bye.
I'll pop it away.